Welcome back, or welcome to the channel. If it's your first time, thanks for clicking and all that. Anyway, on today's video, I want to keep this one brief. It's going to be a boring video, to be honest with you, because as you are probably aware, it's about insurance. Now, nobody likes insurance, but this video is for everybody, because as bikers, as motorists, we've all got one thing in common if you ride on the road, and that is we all need insurance. So without further ado, let's crack on. I'm going to give you some tips, and I say tips, some of them, if not most of these tips, are going to be things that are obvious. But I say obvious, having done a little Google search before I started this video, it turns out that 10% of motorists automatically repay their insurance. They do it on an auto renewal. So don't be that lazy 10%. So the first tip, or the reminder, is don't pay your renewal. Now, I have been guilty of paying my renewal on more than one occasion. I'm going to admit that I'm a 10% lazy person, and I nearly fell into that trap this year. And the reason I did is because the carefully crafted email I got from my current insurers, it kind of said, I'm not quoting it, but it kind of said along the lines of good news, in inverted, not inverted commas, in capital letters even, good news. It kind of shouted it at me, and I was like, oh, what good news, I've won something. I've never won anything. It turns out that your insurance premium excuse me, is cheaper than last year. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty good then. Further on reading down, after a bit more waffle, it's £25 cheaper than last year. Oh, that's not too bad, 25 quid. I mean, you know, let's face it, I paid last year's premium. Alright, I moaned a little bit, but I paid it, and no one died. I had a nice year's riding, and here I am again the year after. So if I paid last year's, and this year's like £25 cheaper, so just pay it and be done with it. So I kind of nearly done that. It was a bit of a job to decide on exactly how much cheaper it was, even though it's told me £25. The reason being is that I've added a new bike sort of mid-term onto my policy. I added the KTM. Now I've currently got 4 bikes. I insure 3 of them. One's a track bike. I don't like this corner. There you go. One's a track bike, so I don't bother insuring that one, but I insure this particular beast, my BMW 1250 GS, the KTM 1290 Super Duke R, and my RD 350 YPVS. So I've got 3 on there. This makes my quoting for a new quote a little bit more fafferage than if you've only got 1 bike. So I'm going to hasten a guess that most bikers have only got 1 bike that they insure on the road. I mean, I've got nothing to base that on, it's just like for the sake of this video. So let's go with that to start with. So as I say, don't pay your renewal. The first thing what I would do is, when you get your renewal in, is go on the comparison sites. If you can be asked, it might be beneficial if you do, try not to just have one quote with one company. The state of these roads, there's loads of gravel and crap on the middle of it. There's the 4 main ones, if you like. So I would urge you to take a bit of time and have quotes on all 4 comparison sites. Now, I've done this in the past, and I've found that whatever the best quote it comes out on one is actually like 30 quid dearer on another site, and there might be a different company that's actually slightly cheaper than the one on the other site. Does that make sense? The premiums vary from site to site, so what may be the best quote on one site, you might get a better quote on another site from a different company. Does that make sense? Anyway, you kind of get a rough idea what I'm waffling on about. So do that. That's quite an obvious one to do. Probably a tip to do as well. Now, this won't make no difference this year, but it will help you out immensely in the future, is open an account with these different companies. Don't just log in as a guest. The reason being is that it will store all your information, so all your personal information, all the information about your bike, blah blah blah, that's took you 20 minutes to input into the website. It will store that, so when you come to the following year, all your information is already in there. Now, saying it's already in there, make sure you skip through it, because you might need to amend a few things. So for argument's sake, you might have had a tracker fitted on your bike. If you still got the same bike, your mileage might be different to what it was last year. You know, you might have had a new lock. If you've not had a crash or claimed anything in that year, then alter your no claims discount, so you know you're gonna have another year as opposed to the one before. So just go through it, which will take you a couple of minutes to go through, as opposed to inputting it all for, you know, 20-30 minutes. So yeah, it'll save you in the long term. So that's kind of my tip for that one. When it comes to me, like I say, I've got 3 bikes that I insure. It wasn't obvious. I don't think you can. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can get a multi-bike quote on a comparison site. As I say, I might be wrong, don't know, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I took the old school approach, and I thought I'm going to have to sit there, suck it up, and I'm going to have to ring these companies up like we used to do back in the day. So that's kind of what I've done. Now I sat down and I went through the interweb, and I thought, right, I'm going to pick out 3 companies, and hopefully I'm not going to have to ring all 3 of them, because I know this is going to be laborious. How I arrived at these 3 companies, 2 of them I picked out of the air, to be honest with you, just sort of popular ones, and the other one I sort of, I've done a little bit of research, I suppose. I went on some GS forums, as I tend to do a little bit on Facebook. Looked at some people going on about insurance on their posts, and it turns out that this particular bike, with us old boys riding it, Hastings Direct seems to come out as a favourable one, with a reasonable insurance at a reasonable, in inverted commas again, quote. So I thought to myself, okay, I'll give Hastings Direct a ring. That might be sort of the way forward. So I sat down, got all my information in front of me. You know, registrations of the bikes, which I can't remember them all, to be honest. You know, got my bank card out in case I needed it. Bloody blah. I sat down with a cup of coffee, rang them up. Now, I'm not even gonna try and get over the fact that it was a bowl ache. I found my soul leaving my body doing this exercise. I was on the phone for 58 minutes. So yeah, it has a lot of faffering. But at the end of it, lo and behold, my current insurer from last year was B-Moto. Now bear in mind what I'm going to say, that B-Moto a few years ago, after doing exactly the same exercise, came out by far the cheapest with the best quote as well. This year it was £995 for the 3 bikes. Hastings Direct £665. So a saving of £330 if you're not already worked that one out. So even though I spent 1 hour, 58 minutes to be precise, on the phone, I managed to save on my insurance premium £330. So I'm thinking that's an hour well spent for that sort of saving. Now I did make sure that these quotes are like for like as well. I like with my B-Moto, I had they call it the premium. Oh no, they don't call it the premium. What do they call it? Platinum. Oh, with B-Moto they call it the platinum cover. So that's protected, no claims. It insures you as a rider as well, so you get money if you get splattered and you can't go to work. Insures all your kit, insures your keys. I think it insures your locks as well. You get UK and European breakdown cover, blah. So it's kind of the all singing, all dancing with every box ticked. So with the Hastings one, I made sure I got a like for like quote, because I kind of like the extra bits. I mean, you don't have to have it all, but that's another thing with going on the comparison sites. That's kind of quite easy to see, because it will basically give next to every company a tick or a cross. So a tick being, yeah, that's, you get breakdown cover, you get legal cover, you get this, that and the other, or you get a red cross and you don't. So that's not always the case. It's cheapest is best. So make sure that you're getting the cover that you require. Do not skimp on legal cover. Whatever you do, don't skimp on the legal cover. I mean, you might not need breakdown cover like I did. I know some people have got it separate policy, or some bank accounts now apparently have breakdown cover. Mine doesn't, so I kind of needed it. But anyway, that's my brief video. I think this is the briefest video with the least amount of waffling going on. It's early March, the sun is out, so I thought I'd come out, have a little ride. Hopefully you got something out of this. You never know, you too might save a bit of money. So if you got to the end, thanks very much for watching. Go out there and live your best life, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Bye for now.